how can we embody the spontaneous, wild, free nature of the Dakini while also staying true to the extremely careful conduct espoused in Lamrim?
Mm-hmm. Good question. I like to answer to that because they may be addressing to Dakini Whispers approach or something like that. So this is an important one because this looks like a paradox. And in fact, it's the beauty of the path, beauty of the journey. Dakini's spontaneity is not the chaos. And Ramrim's study and ethics and all this, it's not about the rigidity. You know what I mean? The key is spontaneity, is unbounded freedom with profound discipline. And the wild and spontaneity is based on or coming from the deep realization, in a sense, expression of the wisdom beyond the dualistic constraints. We are exercising that when we practice Dakini practice retreat. In a sense, true freedom arises from the deep realization, not from the impulse or like a chaotic impulse, reactivities. It's important to combine both. So Ramrim's careful conduct is not about really solid, self-existent rigidity of the Buddhist teaching. We need to cut through that. We need to understand that, of course, study contemplation and meditation, but about cultivating the conditions for authentic, fearless spontaneity to arise. The more disciplined our ethical foundations, the more effortless or spontaneity the Dakini is liberated. Untamed energy can manifest without causing harm. The basis of the or foundation of the ethics is not harming and benefiting others. Right? Should not be contradicted to this spontaneity. This is a paradox in a sense, in appearances, but we need to really understand these are not a contradiction in a sense. I think we can talk about a few things about this. So the key to integrate both is, of course, grounded in ethics. That's the key, first one, right? So like the sky needs the earth, like it needs spontaneous flight, depends on the solid ground of a careful conduct. But that's not rigidity. Ethical integrity gives maybe confidence or self-confidence, right? If we are living our lives based on ethics, we feel confident and no fear in a sense to move freely without fear of falling. So that may be number one, grounded in ethics. Then second part is wisdom. This spontaneous frame of wisdom. Dakini's spontaneity is not ego-driven, but arises from deep wisdom, cutting through illusion which include the rigidity about ethics. So when we embody this wisdom through, for example, Dakini practice, even the wildness becomes a skillful means. 5 Dakinis are expression, skillful means, expressions of the true nature. Then maybe third and maybe most important, not the most important, all of them are important. It's about emptiness. So merging form and emptiness. Dakini as a form and the true meaning is emptiness. Lamrim teaches us structure and Dakini dissolve all boundaries. We need the structure and the true nature, dissolution or emptiness of that. So when we truly understand emptiness, we see the discipline and the freedoms are not the opposite, but mutually enhancing, enriching. So this integration is the key in our practice, in our daily life, and in our retreat. The discipline dances with the Dakinis, so to speak. So the Dakinis are not outside of the mandala. Dakini has a mandala structure. Dakini dances within that mandala. True wildness or that spontaneity is not chaotic, as I said, but fearless clarity, free yet deeply responsible. Yeah, this is a very good one. It is clear, I mean, in a sense, how we approach how I approach, actually not we. I don't know how you understand. Actually, it's good. I want to hear how you understand this. In Buddhism, there are so many paradoxes. That's the beauty of the Buddhism. If we are settled in without paradox, then become a boring, boring, and we're not going to move forward as a human being. Human being has a right brain, left brain, and we need to make use of all of them, entirety of beings, to progress on this journey. When we awaken, we become a complete human and completely awakened. So that's the kind of idea.
I used to teach design at university. One thing that would often be said is that creativity works best with constraints, because if you've just got like a completely wide open space, it's like nothing you do kind of makes any sense. It's like any choice is kind of arbitrary. So you kind of need boundaries in order to make, interesting and, creative and spontaneous decisions. So I kind of, this feels very similar. Like you need kind of the constraints of wishing to benefit others and not harm others in order to have like a true meaningful spontaneity.
Yeah, very good example, good point. And as I said, so Dakini has a structure, mandala. Dakini dances in that mandala structures. So that structure include this samsara. For example, Vajrayogini mandala, look at that. The channel ground is within a mandala. We don't exclude those yaki stuff. Everything at that structure. And we not solidify the structure either. This is a kind of key to progress. You wouldn't have been here if this contradiction is not deeply understood. Actually, in your heart, I think you can really appreciate this paradox.
I mean, for me, the thing that comes up as well is the image of the boat that we use as well. I didn't know, by the way, that this image was also Wittgenstein uses the same image when he talks about language and structure. When he talks about it as a ladder, and he says you use this ladder all the way to get up. And at the end, you get rid of the ladder, you get rid of all language and symbolism. And he says you just got to make sure that you're already at the top before you get rid of it, because if you got rid of it too soon, that's it, and you'll fall with it. Yeah, it makes me really think about like crazy wisdom as well. Yeah,
of course, a tricky one, like crazy wisdom or spontaneity, wildness. But for us, we are more toward rigidity. So it's important to kind of break that within the kind of safe environment. For example, Dakini's Whisper, we provide that opportunities. You can speak freely. Maybe in other situation, you may not be able to talk about all the things. So that's good. Then started to understand deeper meaning of just one thing. You might have had an idea about this, it's a very rigid, solid idea about this. Then even ethics, constraint, that sort of rigidity. Conventionally, it looks like unethical, but Dakini do something wholeheartedly, even something that looks unethical, but do wholeheartedly, because deep down that have a bodhicitta. Like a mother does that, spank the kids or do all those things. But because mother cares about kids' safety or whatever reason, discipline,
it's similar.
he brought that to go to Ningma, his teacher, Lady Ningma. Ningma is wild, like this dark Dakini is dancing in the sky wildly. But the Kyumpanenjo was so sure, this is the Ningma. This is the lady I was looking for. He offered this gold. Then Ningma is widely took it, smash it, and throw it out. And she said, if you don't attach to the gold is everywhere. This land is a gold. That's first teaching. So Dakini taught the monks. If you look at the oldest Mahasiddha story, Naropa, Saraha, all these are scholars, in elite university, Nalanda, Vikramashila, all these scholars, practitioners. Dakini helped them to liberate from the rigidity and narrow understanding of the true meaning and demonstrate the true meaning of what they learned. Therefore, it's important. Back to this question, answer to this question, important to integrate both. It's fun to do this way. More embodied understanding of Lamrim, for example. Don't you think using the right brain to understand Lamrim? You become a Lamrim that way, not the Lamrim as an object of something out there. You have to study like a college student, knowledge, and then test it. Lamrim is not meant for that. Maybe that's the first stage of Lamrim, understanding deep, understand the detail and the reasons why this is this. So each topic has its extensive explanation. Understanding that, then using that, integrating the like how that to feel, reflect on one's own life, not somebody else's life as a objective knowledge stuff. Then how do I feel?